Hi, I'm here with Senator Donna Kim, and she just concluded a whopping 56 hours of testimony on a special investigative committee, and I wanted her to tell us about it. Senator Kim, what was going on for all those 56 hours?
The Senate voted for a resolution to investigate the procurement process held by the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism and Mr. Leo. They awarded a contract for $8.7 million to an entity called H2 Energy. But what happened was H2 Energy ended up being the third-ranked bidder instead of the first-ranked bidder. And so the state procurement officer reviewed it and found them to be in violation, that the award should have gone to the top-ranked bidder, Kolohala. And when this ruling took place, Mr. Leo originally said that he would act immediately to correct it if found in violation, but he didn't. He tried to have the award canceled, and when he couldn't get it canceled, he then dragged his feet and then didn't award the contract until February, which was many months later, and then didn't award that or didn't execute the contract until over a year later. The Senate passed a resolution in January of this past year for an investigative committee to look into the question of how this happened and was it an intentional violation, because if it was an intentional violation, then it becomes a criminal act of a misdemeanor. And so the committee, 5 members were appointed to this committee, and at that committee we subpoenaed 22 witnesses. We got 22,000 pieces of documents, and we had 56 hours of testimony. And there were many conflicting testimony. We brought some of the witnesses back several times to clarify that, and after listening to them for, as I said, 56 hours and looking at all the evidence, we came together with a report, evidence-based report, and basically the report said that Mr. Liu and his top management staff knowingly and intentionally violated the procurement law. And this report is available to the public. It is complete with all of the exhibits to it. It footnotes all of the testimony. We do have the 56 hours of testimony available on DVD if anybody would like to review this. And basically they can see whether or not Mr. Liu and his top directors knew. And the committee voted unanimously that in fact they did know, and that we are sending now, the recommendations is to send the report to the Attorney General and to ask the Attorney General to in fact appoint a independent special attorney to investigate whether or not they should take criminal charges against Mr. Liu and his top management.
So there were 4 people altogether that you were looking at possibly.
4 people. Ted Liu, the director of the department, and Mr. Maurice Kaya, who was with the department for over 20 years, Mr. John Tatlinger, who is also a branch chief for over 20 years with the department, and Mr. Ken Kitamura, the ASO. He is with the department for about 6 years.
And basically, you were asking for a special investigator with the Attorney General's office because the Attorney General's office represented those people during your hearings.
Exactly. They represented them, and so now to ask them to go ahead and determine whether they should be prosecuted, we think is a conflict of interest. And so we think the best way for everybody concerned is to appoint an independent legal counsel and have them make that determination. Our job was to collect all the evidence and to see whether or not there was a reasonable belief that this happened, and I believe the committee have said that. And it was a bipartisan committee, and as I said, it was a unanimous vote.
Right, and then if the Attorney General doesn't choose to investigate, you have other options.
There are other options. We're not sure, if we get to that point. We're hoping that the AG will do his job and will look at this seriously, just as the committee did.
And also the Ethics Commission.
Also the Ethics Commission. And then there are other recommendations that the Department of Business Economic Development adopts certain checkpoints and certain forms and stuff to ensure that this does not happen again.
So there was the criticism that this is a witch hunt, but you're saying that it was a bipartisan committee, which it was, and that the final vote was unanimous on your findings.
Absolutely, and there's only a witch hunt if you don't find anything. And it's the job of the legislature. It's the role of the legislature to oversee the executive branch, to make sure that they are following our laws, they are complying with procurement laws. It's to protect the people. The whole thing about procurement is to make sure it's visible and it's a process that's transparent and fair. And no matter what you come away from this, you're going to know that when you read the report, that the evidence showed that it was not a fair process.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Senator Kim.
Thank you.